Okay, now we're doing the auditory acuity test where I'm going to whisper 3 words, occlude one ear, Nolan. Do the other side, yeah. And I'm gonna whisper 3 words here and tell me what you hear, okay? And breathe out.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. And occlude the other side, good.
4, 5, 6.
Good. All right. And now I'm going to be looking into Nolan's eyes. And dim the lights. Alrighty. And I have my hand on the dial and it's dialed at 0. So I'm looking into Nolan's eye. And I'm looking at the vasculature from all 4 quadrants. And I'm looking for the optic disc. Okay. So Nolan's optic disc was nice and circular with crisp edges, and it was yellow, and all the vasculature, no hemorrhages, all the vessels looked intact. And the macula was present. All right, now we're going to do this side. I'm looking at Nolan's vessels. Okay. So Nolan's optic disc was nice and circular, crisp edges, yellow, vessels were intact, no hemorrhages, and the macula was present. Okay. And now we're going to do the nose. Turn the lights back on. Okay. And I have a new speculum from the ears. All right, I'm just looking at Nolan's nose. I'm looking at the vestibule, which is the hairy inner side or outer side. And I'm looking inside and I'm seeing the inferior turbinate and the middle turbinate. On the other side, then the middle with the inferior turbinate, and then the middle turbinate. Okay, sorry. So his nose, I didn't see any deviation, no bleeding. The mucosa was nice and red. I didn't see any obstructions, and the septum appeared with no deviation. And I saw the inferior and the middle turbinates. Okay? And now I'm going to press on Nolan's sinuses and let me know if you feel any pressure. Do you feel any pressure?
Nope.
Any pressure?
Nope.
So that was the maxillary, frontal, and the ethmoid. Any pressure?
Nope.
Okay, good. All right, and now I'm going to look at Nolan's mouth. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. And right now I'm just looking at Nolan's lips, and there's no cracking, no ulcers, and it looks symmetrical. Okay, and now I'm going to use a light source. Take this off to look in Nolan's mouth. And I'm just looking inside the gums, and I'm looking at his mucosa, buccal mucosa for any biting. And it looks like Nolan does have a little bite mark right there. And I'm looking on the other side, good. And I'm looking at Nolan's teeth, looking for any cavities. Okay, I'm gonna look at the top. Okay, good. All right. The mucosa looks nice and pink. I didn't see any lesions or bleeding or swelling. All right. So I'm gonna have Nolan stick his tongue out, and that's testing for cranial nerve 12, the hypoglossal nerve, and it's nice and symmetric. And I'm gonna be looking at Nolan's pharynx, which are nice and pink, but not red. And there's no exudates. All right, now put your tongue back in your mouth, please. And I'm gonna have Nolan say, ah. Good. So I just saw Nolan's soft palate get really elevated, and it was symmetrical on both sides, and his uvula was midline. Now I'm gonna look underneath Nolan's tongue. Okay, good. All right. And I'm going to take Nolan's tongue and look at each side. Good. All right. So Nolan's tongue, the dorsum of his tongue, can you speak your tongue right now? It's nice and rough, no lesions, no swollen taste buds or anything. And so now I'm going to palpate Nolan's. I'm gonna look underneath his tongue. I'm gonna palpate all over. And when I was looking at his tongue, I was looking for any like cancerous lesions, especially for people who smoke tobacco, any rough edging. Okay, and I'm just feeling for any swollen glands underneath his tongue. All right, you can bring your tongue back down. And I'm just feeling for any masses. Good. No masses. Good pink mucosa. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to move to your lymph nodes. I got the preauricular lymph nodes. Good. Postauricular. The occipital. Tonsillar. Submandibular. Submental. Posterior cervical. Superior cervical. And then deep chain. And then supraclavicular and infraclavicular. Okay, so all his lymph nodes were discrete, soft, movable, and were they tender anywhere? No tenderness. Okay, good. All right, and now I'm going to look at Nolan's neck, and it's nice and in line with the trachea, and I'm going to palpate his carotid. Okay, now I'm going to feel, or I'm going to listen to his carotids, the upper and lower. Good. All right, and now I'm going to be looking at Nolan's just his anatomy up here. So we got the trachea cartilage, and then there's a little space, and then we got the coracoid cartilage. And then this is where his the isthmus of his thyroid would be. So I'm just gonna have Nolan swerve around. And do you see that water right there, Nolan? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have you swallow it when I say so, okay? So I got the coracoid process right here, and I'm gonna ask Nolan to swallow. Did you take a sip of water? And swallow. Good. So I felt his the isthmus of his thyroid, and that was palpable, but the lobes were not palpable, which is normal. And there's no goiter in his throat either. Okay. Now I'm gonna have you clench down. Do you feel any popping, or it's called crepitus? No. And I don't hear anything or feel anything abnormal. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
Thanks.